One of the things we're often asked about is what is the best game in VR? And I don't think that's really a fair question because there's several. We're going to try and answer it with our best of VR. Now, a few things to understand. These are what we personally believe are the best games in VR. Regardless of price, regardless of anything else, these are the games that are absolutely at the top of their game. Number 5 is CyberThreat.
CyberThreat is just one of those games where you are going to have a blast. It is a massively open world game where there are waves of enemies that come in and you procedurally upgrade your abilities and guns as you're moving through these different levels. How you choose to kill people is completely up to you. You can run around, you can teleport around, you can fly around, you can climb your way around, jumping from building to building. The possibilities are almost limitless.
This is a game I've talked about a lot simply because it induced childlike giggling and just stupid amounts of fun when I was flying around and felt like an attack helicopter, blasting people on the ground while strafing through. It was just an incredible experience. Super, super fun. Flying in the jetpacks and jumping from building to building and climbing. You're a superhero. You're an attack helicopter. You're a tank. It's so much fun to just let loose for a while. It's quick or slow as you want it to be. You can climb to the top of a tower and snipe people, or you can fly through the city and in between buildings with a rocket launcher, or you can jump up high into the air and blast people with shotguns, or you can run through the streets like a madman. Whatever you want to do is available here. It's super, super neat.
One of the things I liked best about this game is I always used to say, when are they going to give me superpowers? CyberThreat finally delivered. Number 4 on our list is I Expect You to Die.
I Expect You to Die is an escape the room game, but it's also easily the most polished escape the room game, possibly the most polished VR game we've ever seen. It's so well done. The introduction scene alone, where they're showing you who made the game and what's in it, is worth the price of admission. This is an incredible experience that you simply have to do.
This is one of the very first VR games I ever experienced. Not even in VR. I saw a video on YouTube of somebody playing this game with the Oculus Dev Kit 2. I saw what he was doing and I was like, I have to try that game. And that's what I finally got to do when it finally came out on Vive, and my God, it was polished and perfect. It was unfortunately a seated position, but that did not detract from the gameplay in any way, shape, or form.
On top of that, it completely subverts your expectations for escape rooms by allowing you to do things in multiple different ways, which means there's also replayability. I mean, beyond the fact that you'll probably want to restart this game a few times just to try out and see things over again because of how visually impressive they are, it also gives you a reason to actually play it again just to try out different things. Even dying gives you an experience that you haven't had before.
If you haven't tried this yet, I recommend you try it. It's one of the best games in VR.
Highlighted by the fact that it's also one of the most profitable games in VR as of just this past week. Number 3, Rick and Morty Virtual Rickality.
Now, I am not a huge fan of Rick and Morty. However, I think I became one after I played this game. I got interested in their characters after listening to the voice actors and accounting, but playing through this really made me interested in the world and people of Rick and Morty.
If you've played Job Simulator, this is from the exact same developer, and it's essentially Job Simulator 2.0. They took all of the stuff that they learned from the original game, and they made it better. There's a reason why Job Simulator is the #1 selling game on VR of all time, and this is a better version of it.
And it's definitely a more adult version of it.
It's incredibly funny, it's fun, it's interesting, it's visually attractive, the audio is obviously fantastic, the writing is absolutely superb. This is a fantastic game.
I don't really see anywhere there where I can disagree. I enjoyed this game so much that I played through it a second time in its entirety, just to find things that I missed. Every single place you look, there's an inside joke everywhere. You'll find tchotchkes everywhere. You'll find allusions to things that happen in the episodes of the show. You need to try it. You're gonna have a good time.
Speaking of a good time, number 2 is Carnage Chronicles, which is a fantastic RPG fantasy dungeon crawler thing.
Now, this is where the fist fight started between Moriarty and I. I personally think this is absolutely an amazing game with very, very few bugs or any kind of issues. The only major detraction here is its length, and they have planned to increase that quite a bit.
Personally, I think that this game should be a little bit lower simply because of the fact that it's not nearly as polished of an experience. Even if it could be in the future, it's not yet. But it's still an incredible game. It's got a lot of everything to it. You've got RPG elements, you've got bows and arrows and magic, you've got enemies that'll dodge you and really neat AI, you've got RPG and loot and all sorts of just cool stuff. It's a really well done game, and I think it's worth picking up.
It is absolutely worth picking up. This is the first game where I found a developer that solved the biggest problem in VR hand-to-hand combat, and that is waggle to win. That is fixed in this game.
So it's absolutely a worthwhile pickup. Is it as polished as some of the other options on the list? Well, I think that's probably going to have to be up to your personal interpretation.
Coming up to number 1 on our list,
something that's not left up to personal interpretation,
Dead Effect 2 VR.
This is an incredibly polished game. It's an incredibly fun game. It's got so much stuff in it, there's just not enough time to talk about how cool it is.
You have multiplayer co-op, multiplayer PvP, you have grinding, you have replayable levels, you have different gear that you can equip, you have abilities, you have people to unlock, you have AI partners. There's just so much going on in this game, and all of it is done well.
On top of that, the game is gorgeous, it sounds good, and it plays well.
This is the best VR game out today.
And I actually agree. Even though we tend to disagree on a lot of things, this is the best game available in VR. It's a game that you absolutely should have already. That doesn't matter about price, it doesn't matter about what genre it is. This is, simply put, the most incredible experience that you can get in a VR game.
If you haven't tried it yet and you've been on the fence, let us go ahead and push you right off that fence. You need to get it, you need to play it, and you won't play anything else until you've beaten it, I assure you.
What do you think, guys? This is our list of the best of VR, but what's yours? Let us know below what you would have put on your list and what you would have taken off of ours. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. But if you did like it, why don't you watch another video up there in the corner? And as always,
we'll see you on the next one.